What about eggs? Are they healthy? What about egg whites?
Yeah, the egg has two unhealthy parts, the yolk and the white. The yolk is the source of cholesterol, has more cholesterol than any other food. And it also has a significant amount of saturated fat in it that you have no biological use for, but will raise your cholesterol and contribute to heart disease. The egg white is just a big glob of animal protein, and nobody needs that. I mean, you'll get plenty of protein without animal protein. There has been an ongoing controversy fueled by the egg industry itself, which has tried to assert that you can eat all that cholesterol in an egg, but it won't affect your cholesterol, which is not true. It is quite clear that egg ingestion, although the effects vary a lot, overall it does augment your blood cholesterol level. Not as bad as animal fat, but the good thing is that animal products are the sources of both cholesterol and animal fat. And if you avoid animal products, you don't have to worry about it. You're skipping them both.
From a health standpoint, should we try to add oils such as flax, hemp, and olive oil to our diets, or should we try to avoid it? And if we do use it, should we avoid heating it?
You mean you cook with it, but you try not to douse it all over your food? I would not add oils, generally speaking, as a general rule. Because keep in mind, people think about, say, sugar extracted from sugar cane as a refined product. Well, oil is like that too. I mean, there's no faucet on an olive tree. You're taking 10,000 olives and discarding all the pulp and all the fiber and all the nutrients in the olives, and you're just using the oil as a concentrated product that nature never had in mind for you. And you can call it virgin and other, attractive names and so forth, but it's still, in my view, what I would call a refined product. The health issue about olive oil is it's way better than chicken fat. That's for sure. Chicken fat is about 30% saturated fat. That's the bad one. For olive oil, it's about 14. That's better. But cooking with a nonstick pan with no fat at all is zero saturated fat. So that's better still. And all fats, including olive oil, have 9 calories hiding in every single gram. So a person following a Mediterranean diet, slathering oil all over everything, is going to have a real hard time losing weight. So olive oil, better than animal fat by far, but you're going to do much better by minimizing these oils. One thing I would say though, flax oil, when people use it, they're not using it really as a food, they're using it as a medicine. And if you want to use it for that, I'm not going to argue with you.
From a health standpoint, should we try to add raw seeds, raw nuts, avocados, and olives themselves to our diet?
No, I don't think you need to. You're looking for healthy fats, but the alpha-linolenic acid that you're looking for is really widespread. And my favorite source is the green leafy vegetables. They don't have a lot of fat, but what they have is very high in ALA.
What foods increase fertility for those that are trying to get pregnant? And does this apply to both men and women?
Yes. First of all, let me say I'm not cheerleading for fertility. I think we have more than enough of it. But I know that many couples are eager to add another human being to the planet. And for those folks, it's good for them to realize that fertility is impaired by dairy products. It appears to be. In studies in fertility clinics, men have lower sperm counts and worse sperm morphology and motility if they're big cheese eaters. So dairy is an issue. For women, it really does pay to follow a completely plant-based diet and to get away from the added oils. That's a good way to tackle things like endometriosis, ovulatory unpredictability, and as well as PCOS. So I wrote a whole couple of chapters on that in Your Body in Balance, and I'm happy to say that people have really found it useful.
What should men do to keep their prostates healthy?
Avoid dairy for sure. When you mix prostate cancer cells with IGF-1, insulin-like growth factor, they grow like crazy, and the best way to get your IGF-1 level up is to have dairy products. You don't want to go anywhere near that. So avoiding dairy is important. Secondly, think about the things that you want to bring into your diet. Tomatoes, surprisingly enough, have figured big in the prostate cancer prevention literature. It's because that red lycopene color seems to help prevent prostate cancer. And it's also in watermelons and pink grapefruit.
Are all fruits healthy? Are some too sugary due to hybridization and not being native to our area, such as pineapples, mangoes, seedless grapes, bananas?
I think overall, I'm going to give a green light to all of them. It is true that different fruits have evolved in certain regions. I know the tomato is a North American fruit. It wasn't there when our species was evolving in Africa. But that said, if you look at the nutrition in a fruit, I mean, it's very high in fiber. It's high in very healthful carbohydrate. And although the natural sugars make it sweet, if you actually test how rapidly those sugars enter your bloodstream and affect your blood sugar, they are extremely gentle on your blood sugar. So I'm going to give a green light to fruits of all varieties. Now, I have to say, I always encourage people to pick organic if at all possible. But fruit is really a great way to go.
What do you recommend for someone who has gastrointestinal disease?
If a person has gastrointestinal disease, there are lots of them. Where do we start? Maybe we should probably start with a trip to the drugstore, where if you look at the shelves, you see shelf after shelf after shelf of fiber supplements and constipation aids, that kind of thing. When you get away from animal products and you get into a plant-based diet, a completely vegan diet, constipation for most people is never an issue at all. And that's for two reasons. One is plants have fiber, and fiber really moves things along. Animal products have no fiber. The other thing is that cheese has those casomorphins in it that I mentioned earlier. They're opiates. Opiates slow down the digestive tract. And there is probably nothing more constipating than a big hunk of cheese. So if we go to a plant-based diet, we're going to do much better there. There are other digestive concerns, probably of greatest concern, something like colorectal cancer. And a plant-based diet is your best friend there too.